like a jagged race. Algorithms screaming all over the place. Ticker tape dreams and brokers' cries. The rhythm of money electrifies. Bulls charge hard, bears bite back. Profit rides on the railroad track. Buy, 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 watch it rise. Sell, 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 cut the ties. Ding, 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 the bell don't lie. It's a market frenzy under the sky. Ring the alarm, it's a margin call. Leverage breaks, watch the empire fall. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cash machines sing. The sound of greed makes the whole world spin. Buy, 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 watch it rise. Sell, 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 cut the ties. Ding, 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 the bell don't lie. It's a market frenzy under the sky. Ring the alarm, it's a margin call. Leverage breaks, watch the empire fall. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cash machines sing. The sound of greed makes the whole world spin. Ticking clocks, the market screams. Numbers flash like broken dreams. Buy or sell, which way to lean? Bull or bear, what's the play? Up we ride or down we sway. Make the call, don't delay. Fear and greed, they take their toll. Chasing gold, but dig a hole. Lose control, it swallows whole. Charts explode, green and red. Panic rushes through your head. Bull or bear, what's the play? Up we ride or down we sway. Make the call, don't delay. Lightning strikes in the trade. Fortunes made or lost in shade. Risk the blade, no masquerade. Bull or bear, what's the play? Up we ride or down we sway. Make the call, don't delay. Lightning strikes in the trade. Fortunes made or lost in shade. Risk the blade, no masquerade.
up, brother, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. One of them is going to be touching on Visa and their thoughts on stablecoins. You know, we've been seeing that big push in the traditional markets into some stablecoins. Well, Visa's not worried about it at all. And I've got some news on the latest strategy Copycat. You know, everyone seems to be adopting that Michael Saylor strategy, but they're not buying Bitcoin. They're making their way down the ladder. We're now at number 4 in the market cap for someone trying to pull the Michael Saylor strategy, and it's going to be with some BNB. But before we get over to that, you know what I got pulled up first? It's that stock heat map. So let's dive on in. We're seeing a little bit of some green this morning. We've got Apple sitting neutral for its close, and this morning looking up 0.08% and up 0.000 this morning. So no change on the board for that. We do have Nvidia up quite nicely this morning, up 1.87 off of its close and 1.57% this morning. We've got Berkshire Hathaway up 0.17 this morning. Amazon looking quite green off of its close, up 0.58 and up 0.34 this morning. We've got Eli Lilly closing to the downside yesterday, 0.56, and up this morning, 0.41. We've got ExxonMobil looking in the green as well, but a little more neutral than the rest of the markets, up 0.94 off of its close, up 0.05 this morning. We've got Tesla looking towards the upside as well, up 0.43 this morning after a massive close towards the upside, 3.02%. We've got P&G looking quite red after a close to the downside of 0.75. We're seeing it open up 0.57 this morning to the downside. We've got Microsoft also looking a little red off of its close, but taking back all of those losses, down 0.24% and up 0.24% this morning. Google also looking a little bit red this morning, but looking quite neutral in the sell-off, down 0.05, and we've got Meta sitting up 0.69 and up 0.38 this morning. Let's hop over to the crypto sides because it's looking no different over there. A little bit of some red closes, but starting to see a little bit of some green on some of the hourlies here, like Tron up 1.8% this morning. Hyperliquid also up 0.5%. Looking close to seeing a few other projects start heading that way. Bitcoin with 0% change on the board, down 0.1% on the hourly. We've got Ethereum down 0.2%. We've got XRP down 2.7%. BNB down 3%. We've got Solana down 4.1%. Doge down 5.1%. Tron looking very, very green on the daily, up 4.5%. Cardano sitting down 3.6. We've got Hyperliquid down 1.9. We've got Shui sitting down just a little bit more than everything else is, down 6.8%. We've got Stellar Lumens down 2.9, Chainlink down 4.2, we've got HBAR down 4%, we've got Bitcoin Cash sitting down 1.8%, Avalanche, also one of those harder hit tokens this morning, down 7%, while Litecoin sitting down at 3.8, Leo token taking its spot back from TON in that market cap, sitting with 0% change on the board, while TON sitting down 0.5. Hopping over to those fear and greeds, we're still in greed. looking quite neutral on those fear and greeds as we've maintained that top side of the light greed on both the stocks and the crypto side of things, looking like a no change on that. And for the crypto side of things, sitting at 73, still in that greed, looking like we're waiting for that stronger pushback up towards the top side to really grab that top side liquidity to make that brief little appearance back into some extreme greed. Hopping over to our liquidation heat map, if it would load, let me refresh that real quick. There we go. Give it a second to load there. We've still got that liquidity to the top side of us right now, sitting at that $120,000. You know what that is if you've been here. That's that platinum pocket on our fib extensions that we've been hounding on over and over. That's our resistance area. So of course we're going to see a little bit of some liquidity there. We do have some liquidity to the bottom side as well, sitting at that $117,000 mark. Zooming on out, take a look at the 3-day. 3-day looking quite similar, but the top side is a little bit lighter, so once we can clear that out, we can really come back down to that $117,000 mark and clear out the liquidity. Taking a look at that 1 week, we've really got that liquidity back towards the top side, but it's above our short-term top side liquidity. This is back up in that 120, 500, ranging all the way up to $121,000. Zooming on out a little bit further, taking a look at that 2 week, looking quite similar with a little bit of liquidity back up higher at that 121,100. So quite a bit of liquidity to the top side, but we do need to clear out the highs and the lows in our sideways range here. So let's hop over to that economic calendar, because you know we got a little bit coming out today. We teased that yesterday. Scrolling on down. Oh, scrolling on up. My bad on that. We've got some data coming out of the US this morning. The goods trade balance, nothing too heavy on that one. I will be watching that retail inventories month over month, excluding auto, and wholesale inventories month over month. This kind of gives you an idea of what your producer is dealing with when they're talking about inventories. Looking like a bit of an increase on that, but we will have to keep our eye on that PPI data later in the week. That will go very nicely with this data, and the Fed will definitely be using that data. Scrolling on down, we've got the S&P Schiller Case home prices. That's month over month and year over year, looking a little bit of a slowdown on that year over year, and JOLTS jobs opening coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So quite a bit of heavy data coming out this morning. Scrolling on down a little bit further for that Asia trading time zone. And my late night folk, we've got some data coming out of Australia. That'll be some CPI data, inflation rate quarter over quarter, inflation rate year over year, monthly CPI, and CPI year over year and quarter over quarter. So a heavy data mover for that Asia trading time zone. Let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to the people before we really dive on in, because we're pretty much seeing the exact same thing we've seen over and over while we've been in this range here. Zooming on out and say good morning to the chat. We had Jesse Gluck first in here saying good morning, and to hit that like button on the way in. I appreciate that, Jesse. We've got JR in the chat, bright and early. Good morning to you, sir. We've got Dylan VA in the house. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Scrolling on down, we got K Diggity in here. He said he hopes Jesse's feeling better, and Jesse said he is. So we're all happy to hear that. We always miss Jesse when he's not here. Looks like Trade Intuition got absolutely zero sleep, because he's here in the chats this morning. So hope you're having a great day so far. It's looking like he's enjoying that music that I'm dropping before the shows. Scrolling on down, we got Caliphant in here. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see, we got anyone else in here? Oh, we've got Jay Violets in the house. Good morning or good evening since you're over there in Australia. Scrolling on down. Anyone else in here? JR, an admin may have muted you by accident, but just send it to CCM and he will fix it. Oh, you got accidentally muted over in CCM show? That's a little unfortunate there. Sometimes when you're an admin and you're on your phone, it raises difficulties that you don't have on your computer. So I've definitely fat thumbed you before, JR, and I just very quickly do the undo button, but it like deletes all your chats that were in the chat on the show. So yeah, mod problems. We've got Darren Does Things in here as well. Good morning to you. Anyone else in here? Oh, Crypto Billy sliding in at the very end of things. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's get into this Bitcoin chart because you know the level that we talked about yesterday, wanting to see hold if we wanted to get up to that top side liquidity. Well, it looks like it held on our higher term time frame. If we zoom this on out just a little bit so we can get that view of our MACD and the prime oscillator at the same time, you can really see we've got that price holding at that 18,200. So that's that level we wanted to see hold on our higher term time frame if we wanted to get that move up to 120,000 to really grab the top side liquidity. And it held. We've got this nice candle body sitting directly on that 18,200 mark. And so we're just waiting to see if we can get some of that short-term money flow to really come on in, buy it on up, and send us up to that top side liquidity that's residing above these very equal candle wicks at 119,900. Our liquidity is directly above that, sitting back up at our platinum pocket on that fib extension. That's 120, 120. So that's that level to kind of watch for this morning. Let me get my light fixed real quick. There we go. My finally got those lights turned on. I don't know why they didn't auto turn on, but there we go. Let's zoom this on in. Take a look at that 4 hour there. 4 hour does look like you can see that continuation back towards the upside. If we can get our MACD, there we go. It was way zoomed in there. We've got that sideways momentum coming on in on that MACD. We're also seeing the sideways momentum on our price action as well. Really waiting to see if we can get above 120,000 to really make that stronger move above 120. We do have that liquidity that's residing at 121,000 as well. We will really need to turn this 120,000 range into some support if we're going to grab that or see some crazy inflows that don't get exhausted too quickly once we get above 120,000. So we'll be watching that short-term money flow. We do have a little bit of sideways momentum here on the MACD as we're barely above our indicator line. Prime oscillator getting a little bit of momentum back towards the upside here, but your money flow's barely in the red. So watch that short-term money flow. We could really see that stronger move up to 120,000. Grab out that top side liquidity and then see if we're going to come back down here, grab that liquidity down here at 117, and that's that bottom side liquidity, but it would also be a higher low. We've been making lower lows here this entire time. That would kind of be an area to watch for if we're going to turn it into some support to see us make a higher low on the macro and then try to make a higher high and really grab out that $120 to $122,000 on the liquidity areas. We do have that 1 hour also looking a little bit sideways here. We're getting that sideways momentum here on the MACD, but we're above our zero line. We've got that money flow barely in the red here. We've got the bearish divergence, the hidden bearish divergence as well. So we'll kind of have to see how money flow goes this morning. and see if that bearish divergence is going to send us down to that 117, or if we're going to get that move back up to 120. I am leaning towards that $120,000 price point first, and then we'll kind of make our way back down. We have been holding that 18,200 quite nicely here on that higher term time frame. I might look for a little bit of some bouncing action off of it on the shorter term time frame before we get that stronger move back towards the upside though. Taking a look at the 15-minute and the morning, looking like there's a little bit of some sideways momentum here too, but you do have that money flow really breaking into some inflows here. You do have some bearish divergences that have stacked up, and that volume's a little bit low, and that's why I do say look for that shorter term bounce on that area. We held up on the higher term time frame at 118,200. You're getting that curvature of price action as well. You've got your VWAP directly below us, so a little bit of an area about that 118.2 to about 118.5 is where you see that VWAP, where you might see a little bit of some bouncing action happening. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, BC didn't see our shout out, so I'm gonna have to do it again. What was it? Was it on that stock side of things, as you're saying? Love BC's new stock show on Friday. Yeah, I've been having a quite a bit of fun over there. I don't get to talk about traditional markets as much here, but you know, that was where I started, and then that really led me to crypto. So having a lot of fun bringing it back. Oh my mod, says JR. Is that about the fat thumbing? You know, it happens. J Violet says it was CCM. It wasn't me. Is JR muted? Well, you know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Let's see, not seeing anything else in the chats. So let's hop over to those news articles, take a look at what we got going on in the markets. We have Visa saying they're not worried about crypto. The head of crypto at Visa tells us why the payment giant isn't worried about stablecoins. Scrolling on down, and get to the actual news of it. Sheffield said that he doesn't think stablecoins will dramatically impact how most common consumers shop in the US. We don't really think stablecoins solve much of a problem for retail payments, he said, adding that he thinks the US payments infrastructure already works well for US consumers, which, I mean, he's not exactly wrong. Stablecoins don't really change a whole lot in your American retail environment, except for the fact that the payment is settled at the time of purchase. So that's the big difference there. What he does talk about is cross-border payments. So let's get on over to that. Sheffield said that Visa has seen the potential of stablecoins to transform the global payment system for years. In 2021, he told Business Insider, "We support many different currencies on our network. A stablecoin isn't even a new currency. It is just another way to represent a already existing currency." 4 years later, the company sees even more opportunity in the stablecoin market. As new policies help spur a mainstream adoption, Sheffield said that he sees Visa as the opportunity mainly outside of the US, specifically in emerging markets. And then he kind of dives in there and says where they've really seen some adoption. We're seeing activity in Latin America, Brazil, Colombia, Chile, and Argentina, he said, adding that Visa has also seen high activity in Kenya, Nigeria, and parts of the Asia Pacific region. We think that the most impact we'll have will be democratizing many emerging systems and providing dollars for places that aren't really prepared before. That's kind of what we're looking at there. Visa trying to step into that cross-border payments with some cryptocurrency, not really worried about the US market. You know, I don't disagree with him. The US market does work very well when you're talking about making payments from one person to another, but that big barrier to entry in the Visa market is settling payments at the time that you actually transact with said person. So if I'm buying wholesale from a company, they don't get their payment for sometimes 30 days. And sometimes you need that money exactly at the time that person is purchasing their goods. So there's a little bit of some transforming that could happen in America, but definitely looking at some more crypto adoption there. They're already in those markets. MicroStrategy copycats are getting out of control as a Canadian vape company joins the fray. I did think this one was kind of interesting. I've never heard of this vape company. I'm not big in that sector, but the crypto market's bullishness may be tipping into speculative frenzy if the latest MicroStrategy style copycat is any indication. On Monday, a little known Canadian vape company saw its stock surge on plans to enter the crypto treasury game, but this time with Binance Coin, the fourth largest cryptocurrency by market cap, excluding the dollar pegged stablecoin Tether, according to CoinGecko. Shares of CEA Industries, which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker VAPE, rocketed more than 800% at one point after the company announced its plans. CEA, along with investment firm 10x Capital and YZ Labs, said it will offer a $500 million private placement to raise proceeds to buy Binance Coin for its corporate treasury. Shares ended the session nearly 550% towards the upside, giving the company a market cap of about 48 million. Just the latest in the game. But, we've been talking about topping signals over here on the Piper Academy for a while. This is no different than some of the things that we saw last time. It's a little bit different in how they're doing it. Last time it was creators making tokens, and everyone had their own little token and they were hoping to ride it to the moon. This time it's companies buying pretty close to some tops here. So they're just playing the long game there. Hopefully they can get through the bear market, not have any people really cashing out on their stocks to get over to the next bull market. That's going to be that big area to watch for. If these companies can't make it through the bear market and people are cashing out their stocks to get paid back, which is the Michael Saylor strategy, you buy in, you can either have a stock in exchange for what you bought, or they pay you out. If you can't make it through the bear market, then all of this was just hype and people were going for some short-term gains. That 550% towards the upside close is quite crazy. They're just riding the next little wave there. We got Donato Cabrera in the chats. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Kelvin going boo Canadians. Lol. Hey, they're trying to ride the waves as well. I just wish it was someone more legitimate than like some small no-name vape company. JR says blame Canada. Well, you can do that. You're a Canadian. But if I do that, then I'm crapping all over your country. And we don't need more of that. Let's see what else we got in here. JR knows the deal, says Jesse Gluck. Yep, probably. I need cheaper cryptos, but I need more money too, says JR. Well, if you're trading, then you're getting more money. Let's see. I did see this one, which touches on an article that I had read a few weeks ago, I believe. It was a refresher of California raising the minimum wage for fast food workers. Now, they are raising the minimum wage for hospitality workers, and hotels are trying to fight this quite hard. We did see what happened to the fast food industry. They lost 30,000 employees after that minimum raise wage, and now they're trying to force that on the hotel sector, and this is quite crazy. and a little bit dystopian in my eyes. And I do think it will kind of destroy their hotel industry there, which is a big part of what brings money into their local economy. So, LA passed a $30 minimum wage for hospitality workers, and hotels continue to fight it. Uh, not going to dive too heavy into it, but I will follow this quite heavily, and we'll probably talk more about it on Wall Street Weekly. I just do think California probably needs to get it together, maybe not head down the road that other countries have done, because trying to dictate the market never works. The market dictates to you what the prices are, and then you go into the sectors that you need to. If working for a hotel doesn't pay your wages, don't work for a hotel. It sucks to suck. Maybe that's what you like to do. Maybe do it somewhere else. You don't have to live in California and work for the hotel. You can live plenty of other places and work for the hotel and actually make a living wage. You don't get to force companies to pay what you think is fair just because it's astronomically expensive to live in your area. All right, let's take some alt requests, see if we can find something to take a trade on together. Let me put a poll in the chat real quick, see if we want to go up or down. I am favoring a little bit of some up, but it really just depends on what the token is. Because one of those projects we looked at yesterday, uh, kind of made a little more downside than I was thinking it would. So y'all put those votes in there. We'll get over to TradingView and see what we're looking at. Because I did pull off AVAX yesterday. I wanted to see it hold that 2630. It ended up breaking towards the downside of it. And we're looking like we're making a lower high here. Trying to see if we can come all the way back down to some of these highs from back here at about $24.20. Because we did make that lower high there. Then they'll be complaining nobody wants to work for them, but we can't have willing immigrants either. You can have willing legal immigrants, you can't have willing illegal immigrants. That's the difference there. So they're okay with immigrants, they're just not okay with the illegal ones. But there's already a lot of people that don't want to work for those places as is. So it's quite a problem. And forcing people to pay higher wages isn't the way to get more people in there, because it actually shrinks the workforce that you can have in your company. So we're looking for $24.20 to hold on some AVAX. You do have a little bit of sideways momentum here on the prime oscillator. You've got your true 7 indicator very, very low towards the downside, waiting for some clipping out as your volume is extremely low. So we'll kind of have to see what comes at that $24.20 to see if we can get price to hold up there. If you don't hold that, and you can't hold the lows at about $23, then that platinum pocket's looking really, really nice. And that's all the way back down at $20 and about 80 cents. So we'll kind of have to see. I got stopped out in profit on AVAX. It was a monster. It definitely was. It moved quite nicely back up towards our highs from in May. And then we're kind of seeing a little bit of some profit taking happening here. We got that nice rip back up towards that golden pocket. We did say we wanted to see that 2620 hold as a support area if we wanted to get back up to the golden pocket. And if it didn't, we were looking back down. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. Let's zoom it on in, take a look at that hourly here. That hourly getting a little bit bottomy here as you're seeing that brief little glimpse into the green here on that prime oscillator. There we go. Brief little glimpse into the green here on the prime oscillator, but you're getting that continued rollover here. You did make that lower high. That is quite even with this high from over here. So we're just going to have to wait to see if we can hold the highs from this bottom side of our range when we got a little bit of some pullback there. That's that $24.20 price point. With how bottomy the MACD and the prime oscillator are looking, might see that bouncing action come in at about 24.20. Taking a look at the 15-minute and the morning, still looking like there's a little more downside to go. Your prime oscillator is extremely low here, not seeing any reversal signals really flashing yet. Still heading towards the downside. MACD broke to the bottom side of our indicator line and our zero line here as well, as we're starting to print some bigger red candles on that histogram. Did you take profits, BC, on what? When we did our trade together last week, I got stopped out in some profit. So we were trading on SEI. We got up to about 30% profits because we're a little bit safeguarding it and going with some lower leverage. Looks like we're split 50-50 on that poll right now. So people not really sure what direction, which is, you know, a little bit what I'm leaning towards, except I'm looking for that grab up and then grab down. So that would be my thoughts, but it does depend on the project, because you do have a few of those that are already ripping towards the upside. You've got your stock market opening up in the green, but you do have some data drops coming out this morning that kind of might mess it all up. So we can definitely set some limit orders back down at some lows on something like AVAX and then try to ride it back towards the upside. But we did take some profits on SEI. So actually, let's pull up SEI and take a look at it, because we were trading back here. We didn't end up riding all of this out because I had moved. When we got back towards that platinum pocket, I had moved things towards the platinum pocket there. We ended up getting stopped out at the platinum pocket. Let's see, this would have been Wednesday's move here. We got that move towards the upside. We got stopped out in some profits over here. And then I've just kind of been waiting for the market to make a little bit of a decision on if we were going to go down or if we were going to go up. It's kind of hard sometimes to trade that sideways range. We did get all the way up to that area I was looking for, but I was a little bit overzealous on moving my stop loss, so I moved it up towards the platinum pocket when I probably should have just left it way down there at that 29-cent price point. 30-ish, it would have been a little bit lower than that. So right above our kind of strong support area, which would have been 29.8-ish. So if I had left it down there, would have been fine. We would have been quite in the profits, and then saw that bounce back at the platinum pocket all over again. So really waiting to see what kind of happens with our sideways range on Bitcoin, because it has caused a lot of these other projects to see that sideways momentum as well. You are kind of oscillating back and forth on that resistance area we were kind of looking for. We did have that next little area that we had talked about for some profit taken being 34.5 cents. We hit that as well. So probably should have just never moved the stop loss, but you know, I was seeing a little bit of some weakness back here, and yeah, I was hoping that it would kind of hold the platinum pocket, and it didn't hold the platinum pocket, and yeah, but we got closed out and had about 20% profits there. So better than nothing. It was quite nice. We caught that low from way back here. Would have been that secondary high or low. So nice little move towards the upside. Really held that platinum pocket once we got back above it. But that was talking about a 4-day move to get back above the platinum pocket. And as you know, if you hold a trade open, you got to pay to keep the trade open. So I was hoping for a little bit of a quicker move because we were looking at it on hourly, and that hourly said there was plenty of pump to go, and the 4 hour had plenty of pump to go. So I was expecting a little more quickness and not a weekend move. So totally could have kept it open a little bit longer. We can find the next trade though. So anybody got any alt requests? We can take a look at some ADA and see what we're looking at there. Looking like 80 cents is some resistance all over again. We did get above the 50% line on our fib extensions. We got all the way up to 88, which was an area we had talked about, waiting to kind of see us get some bouncing action off of 76 cents again, as that 80-cent price point looks like a little bit of some resistance. Let's see what we're saying. BC makes paper. Yeah, most days I make some paper. It's a little bit easier when you lower leverage and you go for bigger moves. And then you're not so worried about all of this small bouncing action back and forth and back and forth. BC is paper. He's like a scarecrow made of hunnids. Oh my goodness, that'd be so nice. That sounds like a nice Halloween costume to go with there. I might have to make up my own costume for a Halloween show for you. Let's see, virtuals. Let's take a look at some virtuals. Virtual. There we go. And we'll take a look at it on Binance so we can get some money flow data. I guess not on Binance. We'll take a look at it on probably Coinbase. That's probably where we've looked at it on. Nope, we didn't look at it on Coin. I know we looked at it somewhere here. Virtual. Was it on Mexi or was it on this? We didn't look at it there. I gotta start adding new things to the list because y'all like some crazy projects. Bybit? Nope, we didn't look at it there either. But we'll just go with Bybit because it has that history there. A VVV Venice token. We got Steve Hickey in the chat. So let's see what we're looking at on some virtuals. We got our lows to our high here. Whole breaking below the 50% line on that fib. Seeing if we can get back above it, but looking like that's going to be a little bit of some resistance, as this 4 hour has those very equal candle bodies at the 50% line. So let's draw a horizontal a little bit lower, see what we might be looking for there. $1.38, that'd be a nice little bouncing point to watch for on virtuals as we're below the 50% line. If you can't hold that, looking at the golden pocket. But I might try to set a limit order there, see if we can get that entry on virtuals for a little bit of some upside, because it is looking a little bit bottomy here on the 4 hour, but the only thing that we're missing is the money flow. MACD is below our indicator line as well, but starting to get a little bit of that sideways momentum. Take a look at the hourly. Hourly also looking like you might see that lower bounce there. So waiting to see if that money flow can come in at $1.38. You've got your MACD above your indicator line, but getting that curvature again. You've got your prime oscillator getting the curvature, and money flow still on the red on the hourly. 15-minute in the morning, looking like some sell off can happen as well. Money flow barely in the green here. Let's see, I saw VVV on there as well. Let's take a look at it on Coinbase, because that's what I know we looked at it on before. Below the golden pocket here after a nice 50% line rejection. Let's get this zoomed on out to the 4 hour. VVV looking all right for a move if we can get some of that money flow coming back in here. So some curvature on the money flow while we're getting the curvature on the prime oscillator, but that MACD to the bottom side of our indicator line here, and volume slowing up a bit. Let me get a horizontal drawn out here as well. That'd be $2.90 to kind of look for. So we're a lot closer there. $2.93. We're a little bit closer there on VVV. Let's see on the hourly what we're looking at. looking like we're making that lower high right now. So we'll kind of have to see with this money flow if it dips back into some red, or if we can maintain some of that and just get some more cool off with that nice sideways momentum there. Looks shadowy-ish. Is it red and green hills in the background? Let's see. Oh, the money flow? It's this. This is the money flow. It is your nice little money flow indicator. Really shows the strength of your money flow. Colors it in the background here as well. So if you let me get this, and then if you come in here, and I believe it's just money mode. There we go. That shows your money flow. So that prime oscillator, if you go in there to the settings and just click on money mode, it'll show you just the money flow. So yeah, it's filled in with the red and green line, and then it fills it up with the strength of the move. So that's what I go off of to kind of wait to see if sometimes with that volume you will get that continued push towards the upside. Show her the red part, you're only telling half the story. What do you mean there? The reds from back here, I showed both of them. You got your red and your green there. Oh, Mike is cutting in and out. That's probably because I was looking over here trying to see the settings there. So hopefully that's a little bit better there. We did have that money flow in the green here on our hourly. Let's take a look at it on the 15-minute. Probably getting that move a little bit. Yep. Looking like that money flow is stagnating just a little bit here on the 15-minute, as you're seeing that resistance at the golden pocket, getting a rollover on the MACD and the prime oscillator. So if we're going to take, it looks like I'm having a little bit of some errors here on the YouTube stream, but the X is streaming perfectly fine. So sorry about all that this morning. Having a little bit of some technical difficulties. So if I was going to take a trade, I'd kind of want to shoot for a lower entry. So that'd kind of be my thing to do. We might just set a limit order. We had virtuals requested. So virtual and Bybit, we were talking about $1.38, so maybe setting a limit order down there with that 20x on our leverage, with that, or yeah, 5x on our leverage with $20, and see if we can shoot back up to the lows about $1.56. So if that's what y'all would like to go with, let me know in the chats, because that's what I'd be looking. Freaking back to Drawdownville, says JR. Yeah, seeing a little bit of some downside movements might cause you to have some drawdowns, sir. We got Dutchy in here saying good afternoon from the Netherlands. Well, good morning from the US, sir. If y'all would like me to take that virtuals trade, just let me know in the chat. We got a few more minutes, but it is time to wind the show on down. So that's kind of what I'd be looking at for a trade, seeing a little bit of a lower entry. I wouldn't want to really enter anything right now, as we're seeing that little bit of weakness come in as Bitcoin's trying to make its mind up about what to do. Make sure to tune in to the rest of the shows on the Piper Academy. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. If you're looking for the breakdown of the data, that's the place to be. We've also got Trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, a great place to learn some trading with the Mexican Superman and eat a little bit of that Mexican spaghetti on the charts. We've also got Markets After Dark with Lunar Beach's Crypto. If you have not heard, this is going to be the last week for Markets After Dark, so get over there, show the man some love. He's been doing a great job over here, and if you aren't following Lunar Beaches on his channel, that's where he'll be doing all of his streaming after this week. So hope to see y'all over there. Maybe maybe got some announcements coming very soon about me and LBC. So stay tuned for that as well. Kelvin says, I want that trade. All right. Well, we will set that limit order back down at $1.38 as we're seeing that resistance come on in, and hopefully we can get that move back up to about $1.56, which was the lows of that sideways range we were looking at. I'm in AIXBT, a virtual twin. Don't rush into it, but I obviously see a trade there. Yeah, that's why I was saying I'd set that limit order a little bit lower. That way we're not really pushing it, because I do think there's going to be quite a bit of drawdown to the bottom side as we're seeing that sideways momentum come in. That's where we've been seeing all of the red on our altcoin market. But it is 5:31 and time to head over to that morning motivational video. So I hope to see y'all at the next one, and I will get that limit order set after I wind the show up. So make sure to wake up, because today is going to be a good day.